Welcome, everybody, to Catfish Weekly. Along with Cindy, I'm Lyle, and tonight we have Jason Spud Barton and his beautiful fiance Danielle Smith on with us. How you guys doing?
Doing good.
Fantastic.
Awesome, man. We've been talking about getting this show together ever since we was down in Texas. We stayed a couple of cabins up from you guys, had an absolutely blast with you down there, and we finally got it made. We got it lined up where you guys didn't have a softball game or a fishing tournament going on, and one of us wasn't ill or having something else going on, so it worked out really good, and we're just thrilled to have you guys on the show with us tonight. And we're going to talk about boats and fishing equipment and tournament fishing and guiding and all kinds of stuff. How's that grab you?
Sounds great.
Sounds great. Jason, how long you been guiding?
About 12 years now, 12, 13 years.
And where is it that you guide? I know you guide a multiple of lakes, you're not just one.
Yeah, the Central Texas area from that, Waco, Tipple, Killeen, that whole little area, and everything within about 50, 60 miles of that region. So we have about a half dozen lakes that are pretty decent lakes. Good
deal. I know that you have got one of the greatest looking boats in the tournament industry. I mean, I had seen lots and lots of pictures of it. Hey, Journey, how you doing? Online for a long time, and I know that you had told me it was the first 24-foot G3 to come out.
Yeah, the first 24-foot, the Sportsman 2400. It's the very first one.
Yeah, and it's the one that all the pictures was done before you got it. They used it as a show boat, and then you got it, and you put a great wrap on it. It looks awesome, and you guys look great in it, and been fairly successful with it.
Yeah, we can't complain. We've done pretty well in the boat. The boat's treated us very, very good.
That and all the one thing that impressed me down in Texas about you guys, when everybody was struggling for bait, you guys had bait, and you had it in 2 or 3 different live bait tanks. I mean, you had bait everywhere.
Yeah, I normally have. Yes, I can find bait. That's
He's very good at finding bait. Very good.
I probably spend as much time finding bait as I do try to find a fish. I don't know if that's always a good plan, but I usually have the bait.
Hey, Lisa, thanks for joining the show. I got to tell you, I usually spend more time looking for bait. I don't always have more, but I spend as much time trying to find it as anything. But don't always come up with it. We struggled to find bait down there, and the guy that wanted it, for some reason I can't think of his name.
I know you're talking about. I can't remember his name either.
Dave, yeah. He had tons of bait too. He didn't have any trouble finding it at all, and
then his live well quit.
Yeah, and his tank or whatever quit on him. But a lot of people didn't have trouble finding it, and others did. And I think what happened to some of us, we was following up some of the people that had found bait and going in behind where they had been getting it all week.
And they've been were all busted up, scattered.
Yeah, they was all busted up, scattered around. You get 1 or 2 here or there, and then for the most part, it was really tough to find great magnitudes of them. But we got helped out by some really nice people, and we appreciate it very much. To be quite honest, it didn't really matter for us because we couldn't get the fish to go, and we found
plenty. I had plenty of bait, but not plenty of fish in that tournament.
Yeah, we found plenty of fish, and we just couldn't get them to go, and that happens. I don't care if you fish every tournament there is or whether you fish one a year. You're going to have times when they're hard to get to go, and that was just one of them. But it was still a lot of fun, and the best time for us was at the cabins every night, visiting with everybody from Steve and Doc, who stayed down from us, to you guys and Dave and Andy that was beside us, and a bunch of people that I don't remember. The boys that crossed the way from us, and that we was just talking about them before the show started, in their camper that unloaded it there. Those guys was awesome. I really enjoyed visiting with them.
That was their first tournament.
That was their very first.
Their very first tournament. They came all the way from out in Midland, Odessa area. That's a long haul. I mean, it's still in Texas, but that's a long haul.
Before we get into the fishing into this, and because I know that people are going to have some questions about your equipment and stuff, you guys are getting married in April.
Yeah.
You're running out of time. So how excited are you?
I don't know if you would call it running out of time. I'm very excited. I think Jason's very excited too.
That's awesome.
We're getting the last. This next month coming up is getting all the last things in order and
all the details done.
The details.
I got my wedding ring came in the mail. Actually, she ordered it online because you can't find it anywhere else, and it's really hard to see. I'm gonna hold up the camera, see if you can see it or not. So I can do that. But it's actually got a catfish engraved in my wedding ring.
That's how cool.
And then inside the ring, it actually says, what does it say there? I can't even read it. Hold on. I don't want to misquote her. My best catch ever. Love you the most.
Man, that's awesome. That's awesome. You know, we want to wish you guys the very best. I know you're going to have a great life together, and you all was so much fun down there, and we get together and sit at them picnic tables and bring chairs up, and it just about every night, and it was easy to tell that you guys was meant for each other. It really was.
Thank you.
And
she's pretty good catch herself.
I would say so. But anyhow, we wish you the best and can't wait for all that to get out of the way. And then you got a full-time tournament partner, so you don't have to search around and look for one. They're there all the time. And
even if there's a time I can't take a whole week off of work, if I can just leave on a Friday night or midday Friday and head to a tournament, I can do that. But this year it's hard because of taking time off for Texoma tournament and the wedding, so it'll be a little tough if we both decide to jump in on any tournaments he wants to do for the rest of the year. So, which I probably
yeah, I'm sure you will, and it'll be all right. One thing about it with him guiding all the time, he can always find the fish, and then you can just come in there and catch them all.
Yeah.
That's usually how it happens.
Well, I don't know. The last two tournaments, he did ask me my opinion on what I thought we should do and where we should go, and that meant a lot to me because that tells me that he's picking up that I'm learning more about the fishing and where to find them and their habits. So it meant a lot for him the last couple tournaments to ask me where I thought we should go and what we should do. And
from what I understand from the people in your area, you're one of the up-and-coming young ladies in the sport of catfishing. And the women are really coming on. And I think even the hardcore guys, they're proud to have the women in the sport because it's good for the sport, and they know it's good for the sport. Oh, yeah. And now that you guys have been fishing together a little bit and doing pretty good, the next thing you know, you'll be the one that they come to ask them questions, especially the younger ladies just getting started. There's going to be a lot of teens and 20s and 30-year-old girls that are starting out in the sport of catfishing, and they're going to come to you guys and say, hey, do I carry myself right? And you have to be honest with them because there's some out there that don't. But if they're doing everything right, they deserve to get to that spot, and I know that you guys are going to be extremely successful. Terry Haraway, welcome to the show. But, yeah, I was really thrilled with the way you guys had everything set up, and the boat was nice. You got quality equipment, so I know when you're guide, your customers got the best of everything. And why don't you tell us a little bit about how your boat's set up, Jason?
What I have on there right now is I have from the bow to stern, I've got the Minn Kota Tarova iPilot on the bow. I have a Helix system, Helix 12 G2N. Helix 9 G2N, all networked in, linked into the iPilot. Now I actually still have my old 1199 from years ago, and it's on the bow. It kind of helps when I find that bait in that deeper water. I'm working at trolling. I got to keep turning my head back and forth. I can kind of keep an eye on what's going on there. Fish bite rod holders all the way around the boat. The fish bite rod rack on the back. Alan built one for mine. And I said once again, it was the first 2400, so he had to call Scott to get the measurements to make sure it was the right fit and everything on it, and it worked out perfect. And then we went up to the captain's chair, so when we fish together on tournaments, now the clients don't always get the nice high back reclining, nice captain's chairs, but it is nice with us, and we'll be fishing Michael Houston's Brazos River Flathead tournament here in a couple months in April, and it's an overnight tournament, so it makes it real nice. We can kick back and recline back like a easy chair recliner and take a nap for the, rotate through the night on those big flatheads. And
right.
It's great. And they got the Yamaha 250 show in the back, and most of the time I'll have a bait tank in the boat. I run the Catfish Edition bait tank in the boat, the chiller bait tank, and it works. It keeps everything done. And I've got another tank too. I got the Extreme tank. I worked with Damon on it, originally about a year and a half ago. And but yeah, and they're both great tanks. I've gone to go with the chiller more than the other, just because it's a little bit more versatile for what I want to do. And like up at Texoma, we kept a lot of our bait on ice, just because of the fact that I just traveling that long, trying to keep live bait alive over driving in Texas. You're not supposed to be transporting bait a whole lot. Not live bait. They kind of frown on that. Frown on it pretty good. And so, and there's gallon restrictions on that. And if you have tap water, it's just a pain. It was just easier to throw it on ice and pack it down and keep it that way. So
right, it held that ice really good.
Yeah, I still have ice in the thing
Really
from a month
good.
ago. That thing.
Well, everything's froze up here. Now, we did have 40 degrees today for the first time in a while, but you guys have a little break on the heat compared to where we're at.
It was 80 degrees earlier last week. Then we had snow on Wednesday. It actually stuck for a few hours. And then we had 70-something degree day the following day, and I was in shorts Saturday afternoon fishing. So, Texas.
If it don't straighten up, we may have to come down and visit you just so we can get our lines wet, man. It's not been bad. I told you earlier today when we talked, when I was a young kid, it would snow in the end of October nearly every year on my birthday. I haven't seen that but once in the last probably 25 or 30 years. But we don't have near the cold we used to have, but it seems like it drags out longer, if that makes sense. But regardless, we're going to take what they give us and deal with it and go on. We're going to either enjoy it or we're not. And if it's too bad, we'll just stay in the house and crank the heat up.
What kind of cooler? Watch the movie.
What kind of cooler do you use?
I use Engel. I've been with Engel, almost about 8 or 9 years now. Engel's one of the oldest manufacturers of offshore refrigeration equipment. They make ice machines, they make refrigerators, they make freezers, and they make one of the best coolers in the market. They just don't spend the money advertising as some of your other dealers, other manufacturers do. But as in versatile, and I mean, I beat my coolers to death. And I have my original cooler from day one, and I have the backpack coolers. I have everything they have, but I use Engel coolers on everything.
Awesome.
Yeah, they're great.
Where he says she uses dry ice for away tournaments. That makes a lot of sense. Howdy, Lindsay Knight. How are you? Daniel, how you doing? Different background? Yeah, I'm just trying out different things. We're taking different pictures. The picture there is not of our house. That was one of the stock photos that come with the deal. We had some of fish last week and something else the week before, and we're doing different ones every week until we figure out how things are going to get set up and everything, and the adjustments on the green screen. I don't see any fuzzies or anything, so I think we're really close on that and got it pretty much tuned in. But
really nice.
Yeah, it's get Cindy in here with me. It'd probably look a lot nicer, but she's not really excited about doing that. But we'll get it done one of these days.
Somebody mentioned dry ice. Dry ice works great, but the only problem is on some of the shad, if you're using small shad, they'll have a tendency of freezing it.
Yeah.
So what I did on mine is I took the ice and on that chiller bait tank, I put 60 pounds of ice in the bottom of it, and then I layered my shad and put ice from shad. And then I put salt on there to help drop the temperature, but not freeze it.
Right.
It kind of got in that little in between state there. But yeah, well, I'll tell you, put too much dry ice in there, you'll freeze your bait.
Yep.
What's his to-go bait?
What's your to-go bait in your area down there?
Oh, it's big gizzard shad. We don't have skipjack like people have up north. If it's gizzard shad or carp, or in some lakes, if you're down here, we have what we call gas goo, freshwater drum, and that's a good bait also as well, especially in the springtime. We're not as lucky as some states where we can use a lot of our game fish, as bait. Even if you catch it legally, we're not allowed to use white bass or what people call white perch or or any crappie. We're only strictly non-game fish for bait. So perch, for your yellow cat, your flatheads, but drum, but mainly gizzard shad.
Yep, that's the way we are. And I noticed that James Smith and some other guys was talking on videos that they put out yesterday and today about using big head or largemouth bass and crappie for bait. They do that a lot out east, and I would love to do that, but we're not allowed to do that. Journey says he uses chicken breast, and I got to tell you, we've done that.
We tried that. Impossible.
Well, knowing Journey's probably using chicken breast that he's already fried, and
He probably is.
he's trying to put some on a hook. I'm telling you,
That's a fact. But yeah, we've tried some of that. We have not had success with it, but I know some guys in the St. Louis area have been using it. I know 30 years. They have great success on it, and they don't just catch little fish; they catch some good fish. But they're using a whole chicken breast too, But I don't have the confidence in it, and I don't care how good a bait it is. If you don't have confidence in it yourself, it's probably not going to work for you. Shad in the wintertime, skipjack, and moon eye for me in the summer, and I'm good to go.
what's funny is we've cleaned some fish around here that's had we have nutras. We don't have beavers, but we have little nutras.
Mm-hmm.
And we've cleaned fish, 12, 15 pound fish that have a nutra in it. And we've cleaned them where they've had what we call coon, like a duck, small wood duck,
Mm-hmm.
divers, and it's been pretty crazy. Them blue cat, they'll eat just about anything. If it's in the water, they're going to eat it.
If it moves, if it smells, I mean, they're not particular. They're really not. They claim that channel cat's the least particular of all. I'm not sure that's true. I think a blue will just about eat anything at any time, and especially if it's close to them. And like bullheads, I don't think that they bite bullheads because they want to eat them. I just think they don't like them, and they'll just kill them. And when they do, you've got them hooked. That's my belief on bullheads. I know my good friend Luke Hinges uses a lot of bullheads, and he catches a lot of them flatheads up north. But I've always contended that they just don't like bullheads, don't want them around them, and they'll just bite them to kill them. Whether they eat them or not doesn't make any difference. They just want them away from them.
That's I've heard saltwater guides tell me that on big speckled trout, that's why they use croaker. Croaker is apparently a natural enemy to the speckled trout, that the croaker feed on small speckled trout or their eggs. And if you get a croaker croaking, a trout will travel over there just to kill it, eat it, not because it's hungry, just to kill it.
Right.
I don't know how true that is. That's what I've heard from several guys down there, but maybe it's the same thing.
Yep, it could very well be. I'm not sure. But like I say, hell, for all I know, they could be eating them bullhead. But I know I've had them on before, and they'd kill them, and you wouldn't get the hook, and the bait would be dead, and you just have to put another on because they won't hit them when they're dead, or I never could get them to hit them when they're dead. So who knows? But the key is to get them on. No, we didn't get a new house. No winning of the lottery. That's just a stock picture of the living room. Although our living room is very close to that.
I was going to say, I thought it was.
It's other than the furniture, it's really close to being our house, actually, but that's not it. That's a stock photo. But yeah, Jason, I got some hooks that we're going to give away that a guy has sent to me, and we're going to package these up, and he gave me a bunch of them for people to try. These are awesome hooks. I can't wait to get them out let some people do some stuff. So what do you say we give away a package of them things?
Sounds great.
All right, let me get everything up here. And while I'm doing that, why don't you tell us about some of the equipment you got for people to fish with when they go guide? Why don't you tell them how they can get a hold of you for a guide trip?
You can find me online at catandroundadventures.com or on Facebook. It's just under Cat and Round Adventures. And on the gear wise, what I run all Western Seeker gear on my boat. The rods, the line, the hooks, floats, the rigs, everything I have on that boat is Western Seeker. It's treated me very well the last 3 years with them. I haven't had a hook, knock on wood. I haven't had a hook break on anything. I haven't knocked on, haven't lost any floats. I don't break off. I break off plenty of tackle. Trust me. Well, I get lots of orders from that, but I don't break the floats like a lot of those styrofoam floats are. The EVA floats that he has, yes, they cost a little bit more than buying them in bulk from some other manufacturer, but you can take these floats and you can beat them to death and cast them against things, and big blues and yellows can hammer down on them, and they just don't break.
Cool.
I've had tremendous luck with them. And then on the reel side of it, I use the Kuma cold waters, the 153Ds and 203Ds, and I'm spooled mostly up with 40-pound the Wissahickon mono or 85-pound braid.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Danielle, we're going to randomize this 2 or 3 times. You pick me out a number, and whoever is the name that comes up is who we'll get.
All right.
Give me a number.
47.
How about between 1 and 5?
There you go.
Well, you didn't say that.
No, I didn't.
1 to 5?
1 to 5.
3.
All righty.
That's how many times it randomizes the thing. So.
2. Yeah, I'll be here all night. 3. And the winner is Lindsay Knight. Lindsay, send me your shipping information after the show, and I will get you a package of these hooks out, and you can tell me how you like it, because I know you've been fishing and you're going to continue to fish. You got some tournaments coming up, probably on the Lake of the Ozarks and up in the Kansas City area. So thanks so much for watching the show tonight, Lindsay, and just send me that information.
Is that Lindsay a female or a male? I can't see who's on there.
Lindsay is a female. She was a guest on our show here.
I'm telling you, this is a great sport for women to get into.
It's a lot of fun.
We talked to Ann White about that and a few others, and it's in Leslie Vanderroom and stuff, and it's a great sport for couples to get into, or father daughter. I mean, just family in general. It's just something that everybody can do and enjoy together.
Well, something that I will mention, and I've mentioned this before. Oh, I thought you was trying to get my attention.
No.
Sorry.
Right,
Men usually dominate sports. Now, over my lifetime, I've seen the ladies come into their own in sports. Now, I don't agree with some of the things that's going on with conversion people competing in women's sports. If they're a man, they're a man. They should compete against men. I don't agree with that. And if I make somebody mad about that, just tough cookies. I'm going to say it like it is.
Personal opinion. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
exactly right. That's my opinion. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. We still want you to come back and watch the show. But Spud is a legend. That is correct. That is correct there.
No, Spencer. Now, Spencer's saying that. Now, me and Spencer have a trip planned in shortly, in just a few weeks. He's coming down to Texas, or he's coming out to Texoma, and me and Spencer are going to be together for a few days. Now, you talk about.
You guys will have a great time.
Yeah.
Now, back to my other deal. We've done everything from race cars to shot, trap, had competitive horses. My son was a team pinner. We chased them. We showed them. We done all kinds of stuff. But fishing is something that the whole family can do. And even if you don't like fishing, you'd like to be on the boat laying out, getting a suntan or doing something else. There's something about being on the water. If you can't find something to entertain yourself with on the beach or on the boat or fishing or something to do with that, you're probably a little hard to get along with. Yes. And my grandsons like to go. My daughter likes to go. My sons like to go. It's a little tough to find time for all that, but they do. And I used to shoot competitive trap. We travel all over the place in a motorhome, and I'd shoot 3 or 4 days most every weekend. And Cindy would sit in the motorhome underneath the air conditioner and watch me shoot. That's not much fun for her.
No.
But it did, and she shot a little bit, but not. I was pretty hardcore into it. But when we started fishing, and I started out fishing with my kids, that's when back when it was a more professional 2-band team type thing. And if you wanted to fish with your kids, that was your partner. And that's the way I wanted it, because I felt like we was as competitive as anybody. And we done very well in some tournaments. But when the kids got into boys and girls, and I went through some partners, and some of them had this and that going on, or they couldn't make it, Cindy was always there. And she became my partner. And it didn't take very long to where I had told her what I wanted her to learn, and she did. So I trusted what I asked her. And I've noticed that with you guys. you'll ask her and you trust what her opinion. You might not do it. She might not do
Well,
either.
maybe I'm looking for somebody to blame if it goes wrong.
Yeah.
That's kind of where it started.
Sometimes he does ask me, and he will not do what I think that we should do. And I get frustrated, and I don't tell you this, but I get frustrated. I'm like, I don't know why you even asked me, because he's not doing it anyway.
See, I learned that from Chris Baldwin. Chris told me, make sure you ask her. That way, if you're having a bad day, you say, well, I took your advice.
Yeah.
That's right. That's
I've gotten blamed on at least one occasion.
well.
But
My problem is I know what I'm looking for, and I've told Cindy. So if I do something that I normally wouldn't, well, that's not what you told me.
Well, here's the truth. Here's what Danielle has helped me, because she has helped me in these tournaments to get out of guide mode. And when you're guiding, if we get 30 minutes, there's a buzzer going off. Something's it's ringing a bell, pick up, move, go find fish. Try to get some fish in the boat, try to get that bite. In the tournament, it's not about putting the numbers in the boat. It's about putting the right fish in the boat. And she has probably a little bit more patience to say, hey, look, we've only been here like 30 minutes. Come on, give it a little bit of time. She's, I'll tell her beforehand, like you said, my game plan is don't let me pick up at 30 minutes. Don't let me get anxious and try to second guess myself. We need to do this together, and this is why. And when we learn what's the lake's trying to do to us, beforehand. But she kind of keeps me in check about, just give it another 10, 15 minutes, and then gets kind of eases me.
yeah, I asked him where he learned how to fish, because fishing is a patient activity or sport, and he has zero patience for sitting around.
Well, that's
I'm
what
like,
happens in the competitive
"Don't we
end
sit
of
here
it.
for 2 hours?"
That's where the competitive end of it comes. It changes your mind about stuff.
Yeah.
But I will agree, and Cindy, if I'm looking for something on the depth finder and I'm looking off up, back when I started, there was no flashers was the first thing that come out. We didn't have the equipment we got now. Man, we got a flasher. You had something in those days.
Oh, and that and paper graphs. Remember, I'm not as young as you think I am. Yeah, go paper graphs.
What is a flash?
Oh yeah. But now, you show Cindy what it is, and I know Danielle's the same way. They're looking for the stuff that you told them to look for. And if you bypass it or you overlook it, then they want to know why, because you told them that's what you got to find.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, she was a good fisherman before we got together. I mean, she's caught some monster striper out in Virginia when she was living out there.
Oh, yeah.
And so it didn't take much to transition. Learn the graph and stuff maybe.
Yeah.
But as in fishing, no.
I grew up kind of fishing. My family's from the southern part of Florida, so around Miami. So we'd go to the Keys, and as a kid, I'd sit there and watch the poles and run over to them when, fish got on. But, I kind of spent my whole life in and out of fishing, and just, sometimes a small lake or a pond or whatever, just to pass the time. But yeah, I like the big fish, and I learned that striper fishing in the Chesapeake Bay in Virginia.
Well, I think
Those are some big ones.
Well, yeah, they have big stripers out there. I think everybody likes to catch big fish, but I got to tell you, I just as soon go catch fish in a channel cat tournament as anything else, because there's a lot of action. You catch a lot of fish, and there's places up where we're from, north of here, that there's great channel cat fishing.
We have number of channel cats in a lot of our power plant lakes and stuff, but a big channel cat here, 10 pounds.
Well, that's a good one anywhere, but it's not a giant.
No, it's not. We don't have those northern channels that those big knotheads.
Yeah, we was up in Wisconsin. Oh, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago. Been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Cindy caught 4 over 20 in 30 minutes.
Man.
Oh,
In 30 minutes.
In 4 foot of water.
And 2.5, 3 foot of water, and I busted one right behind another guy's boat. I cast up behind the boat just to splash water at him, and I just left it sit there in 29.9, which is the biggest channel cat I've ever not only ever caught, it's the biggest one I've ever seen.
Well, you're talking about shallow water now. That's what I do a lot of. That's what I specialize in is trying to find those big big blues and big cats in that shallow water. Most of the time I'm fishing 10 foot of water or less, and probably half the time I'm in 5 foot of water or less.
Yeah, right. I know a lot of guys do that, and I know I've been hearing about the guys that consistently fish to 60, 80, 100-foot water, and I don't do that. Maybe I need to change things around a little bit, but I like to fish anywhere from 20 to 60 foot, but that 100-foot of water, I don't know what it is about it. I just can't get interested in it.
I went and fished some of that water, that deep water on this past weekend. I'm not really, keen on doing a lot of that too, because we just don't have a whole lot of it here. But the little lake that I live on, I said little lake, it's 14,000 acres. The lake that I live on, it's a deep water, clear water lake, a lot like Possum Kingdom, a lot of deep water trees. And I went out this past weekend and was able to consistently find 5 to 15 pounders. And I had a good fish on there, but when you're fishing 65, 70 foot of water, it's hard to judge how big that fish is when you're still 40, 50 foot down with that line counter. So
right,
how big he was when I lost him, he just came on button. But it was a good day.
Here's an interesting comment that I just happened to catch as it went off the screen. Lindsay Knight says that they mostly fish as a family. Her favorite is spending the day before a tournament marking fish. She thinks that it helps set the bar for that patience business on tournament day, and that's a very a statement that's been made. But we may be 3, 4, 5 days pre-fishing a tournament, and we may not fish but 3 or 4 hours of that whole week until tournament day. Most of our time is spent finding what we're looking for and what I call winning fish. Now, we don't always catch winning fish. I don't care who you are. If you say you do, you're full of crapola. But we're looking for winning fish. And I may spend 3 days before I find the first one that I think will put us in the money. But there's no fish, no sense. If you're spending anywhere from $1,000 to $2,500 to go to a tournament, you got to find winning fish. Those little dinks don't do you no good unless nobody else catches a fish.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you kind of laughed. You said the point about bait earlier at Texoma. Steve Nelson, he's actually a guide on Texoma. Me and Steve, the night before, we got up at 2:00 in the morning on Thursday morning. Yeah, Thursday, because the tournament was Friday and Saturday. We got up 2 a.m. on Thursday morning and drove 3.5 hours one direction just because I knew I could catch good bait there and it wouldn't be hard. And we caught, I think we counted about 350, 400 big gizzards. I'm talking, 8 to 16-inch gizzards, and then drove back and was able to help out several other friends that were fishing the tournament, with some bait and stuff. But we spent over 7 hours driving on Thursday, the day before the tournament. We never even saw the water.
Right.
The day before. Yeah. We went after bait. And I think that's one key that I can tell a lot of people is, you spend all the time in the water finding fish, but if you don't have the right bait, you don't have fresh bait.
That's right.
You might not be don't even be on the water then. I mean,
I agree. Just happened to see another comment from Bank Pole Joe. Said, have you ever caught a big channel cat on the Missouri River? I believe the biggest channel cat I ever caught on Missouri River was 12 pounds, and that was years and years ago. I don't know why. I guess because we're targeting blues and flathead, mostly blues. I rarely target flatheads. We catch one occasionally. But yeah, I've never caught a real giant on the Missouri River. But if you did catch a big one on the Missouri, and I know Justin Wolf caught a really nice 18-pounder down at St. Louis. I don't remember if it was on the Missouri or Mississippi several years ago in a tournament. It was the biggest one that I'd seen in a long time because when you get close to St. Louis, the Mississippi River, them guys commercial fish that, and they don't care if it's a channel cat or a blue or a flathead. If it gets in that net, it's gone. So that doesn't do you much good. But for the most part, the big channel cats are in places where they have regulations, and we're glad to have those because they're fun.
Yeah.
All right, we went over the boat. We went over some of your equipment. What have you guys got planned for big tournaments for this year?
Well, next big thing is our wedding.
Yeah, right.
So we're going to do that, and then I've got a trip with Spencer Bauer with River Certified. If y'all ain't checked him out, y'all need to check out Spencer on River Certified. He is
he's a hoot, man.
Oh yeah, that's one word. I would use another one, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Me and Spencer have talked, but we have not ever fished together. So this is going to be a trip. This is coming in March, and this is, shortly in the next few weeks. We're going up to Texoma and going to do some fishing off the G3, and then I've got a new canoe. He kind of steered me towards it. He's making a comment. Yeah, so I'm going to actually drag my kayak up there and try to do some kayak fishing for these with him. And I don't know who else is coming with him, but I'm really looking forward to that trip. And then our wedding in April. Michael Houston puts on a great tournament on the Brazos River. It's a Brazos River Flathead tournament. It draws quite a bit. It's gotten pretty good size this last few years. It's a 12-hour overnight tournament. And possibly, yeah, we did it last year.
It was fun. There's a little bit of a storm. We had to, find some. There were some parks that were flooded, so we just kind of, tied up to a tree and spent most of the night under a tree during the storm.
Yeah, I got a 3/4 canopy. You saw that at PK. Right. I had a custom made 3/4, enclosure for the G3 on that Sportsman 2400. And so it's real nice. We can get in there all the weather, no matter what kind of weather throws at us, and we'll fish it. I'm possibly might fish that one and Helena or Helena, however you want to call it, that the Cat Masters in August. I might be teaming up with somebody to go there. I'm not much of a bumper. I never really bumped the Mississippi. Never been on the Mississippi at all.
Oh,
so
man.
I'm gonna try to find somebody to team up with to go drive over there and try to do that. I've never done it, and that's on my bucket list. But we'll do it. We'll do PK again, and then again on the Cat Masters, and then we'll be back at the Classic in March next year in Alabama. Me and Aaron Churchwell with Partners of Slime are going to be teaming up, and we're representing Hot Heroes for Outdoor Therapy on that tournament. So it's going to be a great time. This next year is going to be a lot of traveling.
Yeah.
Every few months we're going to be somewhere fishing, or at least I will be. She'll be in most of them. But
one of the things that we need to go over again is your guiding. You guide on several lakes in Central Texas.
In Central Texas, we're right here between Austin and Dallas, right here in what they call the heart of Texas, right here in Waco, Temple, Killeen. If you're military, right next to Fort Hood. And you go out. How many days a week do you guide? I got about 5 months out of the year, just the winter season through the mid-fall all the way through mid-spring, and usually 2 or 3 days a week I'm on the water.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you have a set price on your guide trips?
I run $400 a day for 1 to 3 people, and I can do an additional 4th, or I can book multiple boats. There's several other guides that I'll hire out with me if we need to do a larger trip. So we've had several people coming from out of state and bring 7 or 8 guys, and we run multiple boats. But yeah, that's $400 a day for 1 to 3 people, and we fish it's about 7 hours. So it's a full day trip. It's a lot of people's cut back on their hours on their fishing trip, and to me, I feel like if you're paying, you're trying to do this, I'm gonna do everything I can to put you in there. Sometimes it's a late bite, and I don't want to cut you out.
Right, and a lot of people don't do it that way, and I got to hand it to you for doing it that way, because that's the correct way to do it. It really is. You want to give them a full day's worth of adventure and fun. And if somebody books a trip with you, do they just have to bring their drinks and food or whatever?
That's it. Just bring your food and your drinks, your snacks and stuff on there, and make sure you have a valid fishing license. If you have a child with you, I require 1 adult per child. So it's not going to be like, a mom or a dad and bring 3 children. I mean, I'm not babysitting. I'm guiding.
That's right. I like
that's
that.
An extra charge. And I tell everybody gets in the boat, if you fished before, they'll tell you, that fee is to get in the boat one time. You fall out, you got to pay to get back in, or you can swim ashore. So one time more.
Now, Danielle, does he tell you that too?
What's that?
Does he tell you that, Danielle?
Now, I'll threaten to throw her out a few times, but
I'll put him in with me.
Oh man, that's funny.
But yeah, it's a full day, and that's all they got to bring. Just bring the appropriate clothing. That's the biggest thing. A lot of people think that when we're fishing in the wintertime, it's going to be in the upper 40s or 50s, and they'll come out there in tennis shoes and blue jeans and a hoodie, and they don't realize that wind on that water cuts through you. And they're not used to it. It's not getting out of your car and walking to HEB or I know people have Costco and Kroger's and everybody else, but we have HEBs here in Texas. So, it's not walking across the parking lot, it's staying warm. It's you're staying in the weather for 7 hours, staying warm. So, appropriate clothing, but that's it. And bring a cooler, because, if
Well, you
you're
got plenty of boat for a cooler.
What's that?
You got plenty of boat for an extra cooler.
Oh, I got plenty of boat. Yeah, we got plenty of room. That's not a problem. That's one thing about that 2400, man. It's got the floor space.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes we have a full cooler and our Engel big backpack cooler thing. Pack our food in there, and there's a lot of space. I mean, yeah.
You slept in the boat?
I slept on it.
Yeah.
Do you go out on any guide trips with him, Danielle?
No, I don't. And the reason is, that's his job. When he takes people out, and I don't expect him to come and hang out at my job. Don't come hang out at my job. But also, it's one more person taking up space in the boat that, I've been in the boat fishing with him and some friends, and it gets crowded pretty quick if you have more than 3 people plus the captain on the boat. So you get 4 or 5 people on there, and it's you're battling people to get to the pole.
Actually, it's pretty quick, So when it gets to moving, and you got several things going on, I'm trying to swing a net, and you got 2 or 3 fish on it. Springtime, sometimes it gets to bumping pretty quick. So
yeah,
if he has weekends where he doesn't have trips, then we may go out and try to fish some. But I don't want to be dead weight on the boat, and get in the way, because I know that can happen all too easily with just having that one extra unnecessary person. And he's very good by himself anyway.
I'm sure.
Most of the time, he doesn't even need my help with the tournaments, and I just put myself in there to help.
So someone asked on there how many fish or cut bait you take out on a charter. It depends on the time of year, honestly, and what size of bait I'm running. If I'm fishing big bait, and I try to get an assortment of bait. I don't always try to get just all big, but if I'm on a trip, I'm usually going to if it's the big shad, what we call shadzillas here in Texas. Get my camera. I'm talking about 14, 16-inch shads. They're big. Then I'll try to get 6 or 8 of those to take out, and I'll take 2 or 3 dozen 8 to 12-inch shad with it. To have plenty of bait, and then I'll try to get, we'll always try right around the docks to get the smaller bait, real quick right there. That's super fresh. But all my bait I have is never more than 48 hours old.
Right.
That's one thing that and I'll pack them in ice, but most time I keep them alive. For a long time, I keep them alive in the shad tanks. And in Bobby Lee at Catfish Addiction and Damon both have videos that I took last year in the tanks. I kept shad alive for up to 28 days. Now, the only reason those shad left my tanks after 28 days because I was tired of taking care of them. I took them fishing, and they were still alive when I gave them away to the guy on the bank.
Wow.
So people saying you can't keep shad alive, you can. You just gotta change, do water changes. That's where Danielle came in. She was a trooper about helping out with that bait and adding your salt to it, changing your water out, making sure you're selling your filters. In the first couple of days, change out water, 2 or 3 times a day. But after that, every 2 or 3 days, change your water out. And we kept them alive for 28 days.
Right.
The first 1 or 2 days is the toughest. So if you're willing to keep bait alive for a tournament or just a few days, the first 24 hours, it is essential that you just change out that water and the filters, and they have to be clean. We work together as a team where if he's out catching more bait or he's tired from his fishing trip, there's been a couple of times where I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go. Do y'all come help? No, I'm just gonna do it. So I'll just go out and change out the filters. But it is super important. If you are wanting to keep that bait alive, you have to change the water. If you don't, they're just gonna die. And that's what people think that they don't do.
You was talking about them giant shad. Doc is in the chat tonight. Doc used to catch them over in Ohio and then send me text mess pictures of them.
They're big.
What are you doing? He said, "Man, look at the size of this." And I'm thinking,
they're just as black as that right there. They get that big. They're just
he thought that was hilarious. I know he'd still do it. If he caught one tomorrow, I would expect a picture on my phone before the day was over.
I was seeing the pictures of Damon of him last year in his tank and Bobby too, and both of them were just like Man, that's just crazy how big those things are down
I
there.
know,
But yeah,
yeah.
I mean, they're not easy to get by any means. You mean
No.
there's certain areas that they'll hold them in sometimes, and then you go there an hour later, they're gone. But when you get on them, you feel them in the net. Trust me.
You had some pretty good ones down there when we was down there here a few months ago.
Yeah. Somebody asked about city tap water. Yeah. All I use is tap water. I don't use any lake water at all. All the water I use is tap water. I use a water treatment on my water. And it's stuff you buy at PetSmart. It's not anything that's special. But I use untreated pool salt or water conditioner salt in there, and I use 1 cup per 10 gallons. So yeah, always tap water. Dechlorinate your water before you put your shad in there. Don't wait till you fill it halfway up and then put it in there. But fill all your water in there, and then put all your dechlorinator in there. Bobby Lee at Catfish has some great tips on how to treat your water and stuff, and put that salt in there. And I followed it to a T and talked to him on the phone a lot last year. And tap water. It's the only way to go. Tap water.
Yeah, that's what I use, and I put some kind of treatment in there. There's Doc. He's telling us 20 and 24-inch shed. They were giant.
Yeah, we don't have them that big out here. All right, Mickey Petrie, if you're listening, there are shad that big. He told me there's not shad anywhere 18 inches.
Oh yeah.
Texoma. So Doc said 20, 24 inches, Mickey.
Yeah, I know he done that just to gig me, and it was okay because I'm thinking, damn man, look at the size of them suckers, and they would be bigger than a 5-gallon bucket. Just and I'm thinking, holy crap, I'd do anything to have a dozen of them.
Danielle, there's a Danielle in there. I got in Central Texas, right through that Waco area.
Tap water with G juice. I've heard about that. I've never tried it, but there's a lot of things. But I like the salt in it, and I get some stuff like you're talking about, and I just use regular tap water and pour that stuff in there with the tap water. Don't have any issues with it whatsoever.
Hey, Lyle, remember those that perch I had over at PK?
Yeah.
This is the 1st of October. They finally died.
Really?
I've had them in the shad tank. Yes, I've had them in my tank up until
like 2 weeks before Texoma.
Yeah, right before Texoma, and they finally died. I think they died of starvation. I fed them about Thanksgiving 3 kernels of dog food. That's it. And there's 3 dozen. Yeah, there's 3 dozen perch in there, and they have been living in that. I keep my shad tanks when they're at the house. They're running on an inverter or converter, for 110 to 12 volts. And they were sitting there running. And I was just going to see how long they lived, and I forgot to feed them. But I think they died of starvation. But they were from October, 2nd week of October, all the way to the 2nd week of January. So you can keep bait alive for a long time.
I had bluegill like that for 4 months in my live well, my D&T custom live well in my boat. 4 months.
And you didn't put anything in it.
And I never. I put a couple of fishing worms in there for them, and they never ate them.
Yeah, I put the dog food in there,
on, but they wouldn't eat them later. But yeah, they got to where they was kind of gimped up, messed up, and I finally just took them to the lake and used them. But they lived I thought forever. I was impressed. But bluegill are pretty hardy.
Yeah, well, that's what we call perch down here is bluegill.
Right. Yeah,
it's the same. Yeah, different stuff.
Yep. Oh man,
I read some of these comments too. So.
Glenn wants to know how big your shad tanks are.
They're 30 gallon.
30 gallons.
Yeah, 30 gallon.
The bigger ones are just weigh so much when you get them full of water.
Yeah, and here in Texas we have a 30-gallon rule now. So they did that this last year. So they make them bigger, but the 30 gallons just seems to be handled. Now that's 30 gallons in the bait area. That's not just in your filter area and on the chiller bait tanks you have the the oxygen area in there, the agitation area, and then you have your clean area. So there's 2 different areas in there, but 30 gallons in the bait tank area is plenty big to hold plenty of bait for a couple of trips on trophy trips, or if you're running, a trip on striper or hybrid, something like that, you can keep a bunch of those little 4 to 6 inches that you want on those live bait.
Yeah, cool.
There's someone asking if we've had a shad kill around here.
No, we need one.
Yeah.
Send us some blue northerns down, please. Our lakes are full of 1 to 2 inch shad. We had a couple major floods last year, and that's some of the problems with the fishing right now. Is it's been slow, it's been steady, but there's shad everywhere down here. No matter what depth of water you're at, it's packed full of little bitty shad. Anybody that fish cat masters will tell you that they can catch shad all they want, but it's all like this. But yeah, we need one. So all you guys up in Minnesota, send it down here, please.
There's an interesting comment that Ed made in here. He says, put a light above the tank to draw bugs, go out the next day and nothing but wings on the surface. That's a great way to feed them baits.
That's a good way to keep Danielle busy too, scraping up all those wings off.
Get attack the neighborhood cats.
No.
They like the fish tank. We caught them out there one day. Our dogs like to chase them off. Jason likes to chase them off.
Cats?
Yes.
Oh yeah, squirrels.
Yeah.
Squirrels.
I like cats well enough that they do tear things up. So we don't like feral cats.
There's no reason for a cat to ever be on the hood of our new truck. There's no reason for a cat to ever be in my boat, ever.
Yeah, Spencer, send some of that freezing weather you got up there down. I mean, watching your ice fishing videos. Oh. And by the way, Spencer, I've got an ice fishing suit, so invite next year.
We had a shad kill on Lake Ozarks a couple of years ago. You could go up in the coves trying to get bait to fish with, and the bottom of the coves would be silver. There was that much of a shad kill. And it's not like that every year, but that year it was really bad.
Now, there was one, I don't remember how many years ago, but on Twalkney, there was one, it's been quite a while. They were showing a picture of these catfish just gorged. I mean, there was a couple pictures that somebody had that their stomach was almost split. They had gorged themselves so bad.
Oh, yeah, they just clean them up. I mean, really work on them. Man, I can, the way Spencer is in here tonight, I got to tell you, you guys are going to have a blast down there.
Yeah. What I'm wondering is how much video is going to have to be edited.
Well, that could be, but I'd be expecting to see some good video when that's all done.
He's going to help me. I've been told I need to do, get on my I've got a couple GoPros, but and a few of my sponsors have asked me to make some more videos, but I'm not real keen on doing a lot of that. So I'm kind of.
Well, this will help you.
Yes. Yeah. Spencer's supposed to show me how to do all this or show me what he does wrong or something. I don't know. He's supposed to tell me.
Oh, dude, we had him on our show. We had such a great time with him, and you guys will have a wonderful time together. And you get them videos. Spencer, I shouldn't have to tell him. He knows he can post his videos to Catfish Weekly anytime he wants to. But you are also welcome to do the same thing. And we tell people that all the time. It's quality information. Now there's some stuff some guys put on there that I don't allow, and we don't put that on there. But all the good quality videos for people to watch, we welcome that. And I know Spencer does a bang up job. So you guys are going to have a blast.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. What we got in here?
I don't know what that is yet.
Yeah.
That last comment there, we'll have to wait and see what that does. ACC Gaming. I'm not sure what
ice fish.
Oh, okay, good. I don't ice fish. Doc and I used to talk about that all the time. We figured we was both too old and too big to be out on the ice, and I'm not going to do that. I know Spencer does that. There's a lot of other guys that do it. They have a blast doing it. Luke does it all the time, but it's not for me.
See, and Wood Secret makes that ice fishing rod, and we've got 4 of them, and we bought them for our kayaks.
Yeah.
Just because it's a little easier to get underneath some of these little creeks and channels instead of running that 7.5 foot, midi heaven rod. We can use that little ice fishing rod, and it's got lots of backbone. We've been honestly go trophy fishing with it a few times, and I'm looking forward to it. I think I'm actually going to bring it up there to Texoma and see if we can't hook into some striper and hook into some of those blues with that little ice fishing rod. Oh yeah,
that'd be fun.
Yeah, it sounds like he can drag me around. I'm a pretty big old boy. I'm 250 pounds, and that new canoe kayak weighs about about 80 pounds. It's not a light thing. So I'm gonna see how fast I can get pulled around.
Yeah, I can that. And one of the things that I was going to talk about at the beginning of the show, and I didn't, was we wasn't on last week, and the reason we wasn't on last week is I didn't feel good. Couldn't get no breath. I was having trouble breathing, and Cindy took me to the emergency care center over here, and They done a bunch of tests and everything. Didn't really find anything. Just told me I was old and mean, and that was the way it was. But regardless, when you get to be like that, you don't really care one way or the other. But Doc and I did talk about ice fishing, and we was just going to set the boat out on the ice and stay in it in case the ice broke through. Then we could float back to bank. That was as close as him and I was going to do the ice fishing. Danielle, people waste some more of them hooks. Pick me out a number between 1 and 5.
1.
That's perfect number.
She's talking about me again. Number 1.
River certified.
Oh my Lord!
The winner. What's the odds? Spencer, send me your shipping address. I'll send you off some of these hooks to make sure you do. Don't forget to do it. You and Lindsay, you'll enjoy them. Now, what was you going to say, Jason?
Avid fisherman asked a question. We use Asian carp or silver carp. We don't have those here. Fortunately, we don't have them. They haven't pushed into us yet. So, but I have used carp. Carp actually is pretty good bait. It's better than buffalo, in my opinion here. But we use grass carp and a golden carp that we have. We don't have the Asian carp.
Well, as long as you don't have no water flowing through your state that connects to Mississippi River system, which includes the Ohio and all of the rivers that blow.
Well, they say the Red River's got them now below Texoma. That's one of the reasons why
they had to bring them in there.
Yeah. Yeah, they said they're already in there, but we don't have those. Fortunately, not yet. We had the Brazos River, but they're not in those. Nothing I've heard of or seen. And I was just asked to be a part of the Fish Advisory Board for the state of Texas this last few months, and they don't know of anything that's pushed in yet. Now we have zebra mussels real bad, but nothing like that.
Well, I've heard people say that they have got into Lake Ozark. Well, if you've ever seen the dam that dams up for our lake on the Osage River, you know that there's no way that carp ever got up that dam into Lake Ozark. So if there is any in Lake Ozark and Truman, people had to carry them in there. And if they find out that somebody did do that, whatever the maximum penalty is, they should triple that and give that to them guys for putting them in any body of water. They waited too long to do anything when that happened, and now it's too late. They'll never get rid of them. They can try all the crapola they want to and waste all the money that they want to, but they're in them systems and they become a natural food source, and they will never you'll never get rid of them now that I can see any possible way of doing it.
No, the only thing can help, they can just shut down keeping any big blue or any big yellow cat over 30 inches nationwide and hope those things help the populations. I've heard they eat them.
They do eat them. The studies that's been done on them, it's amazing how many of them they eat. The problem with them is those Asians grow so fast, they get so big, even a big blue or flathead can't eat them.
They're really good bait in the summer.
The hotter it gets in the summertime, the better bait they make. I know guys use them in the wintertime.
Thanks for the tip for fishing Mississippi in August.
Yeah.
It's great. I promise you, if I'm on the Mississippi or the Missouri River in hot weather, June, July, August, September, I'll have some in the boat with me. I guarantee it. And
it stays on your hook forever.
You got to cut it off the hook.
Yeah, it's kind of like we have on our carp and our buffalo down there. It's tough to get. I think some tough skin.
Thank you for watching that, Lindsay. But yeah, I'm telling you, I like it because it stays on the hook. Stinks, makes your hands stink. Actually, it's not bad eating. I've had it. I've ate it. They look. Anything that's got their eyes on the bottom of the head, there's something wrong with. The eyes are not supposed to be looking down. They're supposed to be looking up. You look at any catfish, they all got their eyes on the top of their head. They're not on the bottom like they are in an Asian carp. But fixed correctly to get the bones out of them, they're all white meat, and they're not a catfish, they're not a crappie, they're not a walleye. But they are white meat, and they're not bad eating.
I'll take your word on it.
Well, I understand that. And smoked are really good. But I would prefer catfish, crappie, bluegill, walleye, stuff like that over any of them. But You can eat them. If it come between not having anything to eat and an Asian carp, you'd be fine. You really would. But they do stink and they bleed on everything they touch when they jump in your boat. I mean, everything. So, any other questions you see in the chat tonight?
Well, he keeps just knocking me out of the chat. Hold on, so let me. There he goes again.
That's probably Spencer doing that somehow.
I wouldn't doubt it. He's probably trying to help me out here.
Matthew, I never thought about that. He said it's possible that the eggs were carried in ducks, geese, or boat holes, and that is a possibility. I never thought about that, but I guess I know that some of that happens. They claim that birds is what populates bluegill and stuff in every little pond throughout the Midwest, and that may very well be true. As long as they're in there where I can catch them for bait, I don't care how they get there.
So I know people give tips. I'm going to give a tip from somebody or something I've done and realized over pulling a boat and traveling a lot with these tournaments. I know everybody talks about trailer maintenance and everything else, but I will tell you one of the best sponsors I have is Home and Off Road here. They're located in Belton, Texas, but you need to make sure your vehicle is equipped to tow your boat correctly. Everybody has a tow hitch and everything else, but as in make sure that everything is set up correctly. Like these guys, for me, they went in there and put airbags. They went in there and put an anti-sway bar because me and you talked about. I have a truck camper now. After PK, we're not going to be renting any more cabins or anything else. We have this truck camper we bought, and it weighs about 3,000 pounds, and it fits in the back of the truck. But they went there and put airbags and an anti-sway bar and suspension system in there for me. But one thing I've realized on like my trailer too is I don't wear out my trailer tires as fast, even before traveling 8, 9, 10, 12,000 miles a year on that trailer, that boat trailer. Having that truck set correctly and having that boat trailer sit correctly level, it makes your trailer pull a lot better. Your fuel mileage is better, but you get a lot of better life expectancy out of your tires and everything else.
Absolutely.
So somebody earlier asked about something on the tips and tricks or something like that. That's one thing I would definitely tell you is make sure your vehicle's set up correctly. I mean, there's a lot of trucks that can pull, and I got a diesel truck, it'll pull anything, but make sure it sets level when you get it in there. I mean, beat that shock, even if it's just changing the shocks out. I mean,
that's right. One of the biggest things, I was in the automotive business my whole life from the time I was a little kid till way out the past when I should have been doing it. And you can pull a lot of stuff you probably shouldn't be able to pull. The problem usually is not pulling it, it's getting it stopped. And that's one of the things that people forget about. And yes, Carl, it is a slide-in camper.
Yes, Daniel, that was us. You drove by us. Yeah, just south of Waco, and you was honking your horn and waving at us. Yeah, that was us. Because you were like, you're heading north. Yeah, we're heading. You like Texoma? I'm like, yeah, that was us. So, yeah. And somebody said, yeah, truck camper. It's a sliding camper. We have a Palomino sliding camper, and it was that's a great thing to see him. And and my daughter, she plays softball, college, select softball. She's going to be playing college softball. She just committed to play at Texas A&M Kingsville. Go Javelinas. So we do a lot of traveling, and staying in hotels get expensive.
Oh yeah.
So, and now these truck campers, it's a home away from home. Ours actually has a slide out on it, and we can run a generator if we even need a generator. Run off 12-volt battery system, except for the air conditioning. But it's spectacular. I mean, it's a lot of room. People don't realize ours is 17 feet long, and I have a short bed diesel, 3/4 ton short bed diesel. And it's 17 feet long and 8 feet 4 inches wide. But when the slide out's in, so when the slide out goes out, I'm over 12 feet wide. It's a lot of room.
Heck yeah, and there's just two of you.
Luckily I got shared bed with her, not somebody like Spencer or somebody.
Yeah.
Which a little nicer.
Well, I would think, yeah. I would think a lot nicer, Spencer. I can't wait to see the video you guys come out with. It's gonna be a blast. I love old Spencer. He's a super nice guy. I need to get him back on here one of these days. I've had such a lot of fun with you, but I knew it would be a blast when we made this work out. You guys are awesome. We had a great time with you down there. congratulations on the wedding. I can't wait to see the pictures for that.
Thank you.
And the next time we get together, it'll be more fun than the last. You got to keep me updated on what you and Spencer get into, though.
Well, I think we should call it the Ginger and Shine Show. So,
Oh, Danielle, good luck with him.
I won't be there, so good luck, Spencer.
Oh, man. I know, but you got to put up with him all the rest of the time.
Sometimes I just send him out to his hot tub and
yeah, that's where I'm going
tell him
next.
when it's
I'm like the judge you see right now. I'm got the shirt on. I'm ready for hot tub time.
Well, I'm going to mention something here that I seen just a minute ago in chat, if I can find it. John Patrick put it on here. He said, the tip of the night in cold weather, don't let your worm freeze. I found that very interesting. I want to thank you guys for being a part of the show tonight. I look forward to having you guys back on here. And believe me, if you guys have too much fun when you and Spencer get together, let me know. We'll set up a show with both of you on here, and you can tell us all about it.
All right.
That'll be a blast. Thank you guys so much. Who was it that we was having next week?
I don't remember. Do they get some sponsors they want to tell?
Oh, yeah. Why don't you
phone number again?
Tell your phone number and how people get a hold of you for a guide trip. And if you got any sponsors or anybody you'd like to go ahead and do that right now.
Phone number is 254-760-3044. You can find me on Facebook at Cat and Round Adventures. CatRoundAdventures.com is my website. You keep calling me Jason, but most people call me a Spud.
Yep.
So you Google that, and it's not hard to find me. Sponsors, G3 Boats, man, they have been spectacular. I said I'm lucky enough to have the very first 2400 and be a part of the people that was kind of kept in the loop on the development of it. Yamaha Outboards, Whistler Seeker Tackle Days. Matt and the guys have been spectacular and some of the best tackle in the industry. Spencer will tell you. I mean, everybody tell you that it's fish with it. It's been great stuff. National Athletic Supply. It's a little local shop that's here at Belton, Texas, but they actually have a website called nationalathletic.net. They have a tremendous amount of catfishing tackle and about every single cast net you can ever imagine, from a 4-foot, and in some states you can throw bigger. They got 10 and 12-foot cast nets up there with 1-inch mesh and tape nets. I mean, they got every net you can imagine, and they ship it for you. Great. It's been good. And Home and Off Road. I mean, Jeff Holman and Red over there, Home and Off Road. I said they've kept me going with my truck. They keep me rolling. You know, and lighting, all my LED lighting on the boat they've done for me. Good people.
That's awesome.
And I said Bobby Lee of Catfish Edition. Cool.
Next week is Keith Parks, guide out of Tawakoni.
Mm-hmm.
We ought to have a good time with Keith. I visited with him a couple of times, and that should be another fun show. But like I say, man, I can't thank you guys enough for coming on here. I knew it'd be a blast, and it was. And I look forward to the next time when we get you guys back on here.
Oh, good. We enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you next Monday night.